girl Kayla, and I'm back with another video. I'm sorry about my voice. I'm recovering from the flu, so my voice is just coming back. It probably fluctuates throughout this video, so I apologize for that. And I also apologize for how I'm looking, but just bear with me because as you can see by the title of this video, we're going to glow up. So I'm going to show you guys how I got this look for my birthday. Normally I start by moisturizing, but it's too hot for that and I don't do it because I'm just going to sweat. Also, I have a mixed skin type, so my face is oily and dry. Moisturizing is an option for me, but if you have dry skin, you should probably moisturize before you start your makeup. The first thing I use is this e.l.f. primer. It's a tone adjusting face primer, so I just put that in my T-zone because a e.l.f. and it there, I'm gonna want it done, so I just put that in my T-zone area. But guys, prime your face. It lets the makeup sit longer on your face. What y'all watch me for? Prime your face. Okay, so my face is primed. The next thing you do is that if you have dark spots like I currently have, you would like to color correct those. So you could use your concealer for this. It could be one of those like LA Girl Pro concealers. They have the color correctors for different shades. So you have the green one, the white one, and like the orange looking one. I don't use the LA Girl Pro concealer corrector because I've never really used corrector, but now that I am using it, I have this NARS. I don't know if you can see that. I have this NARS color corrector, the orange shade. I don't know if you're seeing that, but it says Radiant Creamy Color Corrector. So now what you do, as I said, you can use your concealer. Oh, if you are using your concealer, I suggest that you use like a shade lighter than your actual complexion. Guys, I am a licensed cosmetologist, but I don't find out what I'm say. It's just that these things work for me, so I'm just putting you on at this point. I don't know what I'm doing, so let's go. So now you use a brush. Oh, by the way guys, I'm using 5 brushes throughout this entire video. So now that we've color corrected and put it on our spots, some people let this sit. I don't have time for that. Blend that girl out. Are you blending? You should be blending. Blend. Remember to go like under the chin area because you don't want your face to be looking different from under here. And most girlies would be like, oh, let's stop here because we've already glowed up. No, you haven't glowed up yet, sis. We're just in the initial stage. So now what you want to do is enhance these brows. As you can see, my eyebrow them drop off. I don't know if it's because I do my eyebrows all the time. Like if I don't do my whole face, I'm gonna do them brows. For my birthday makeup look, I use that eyebrow pencil. People use brow pomade nowadays. I have never used that. I don't see the point in using it. I think people say like it gives you a more natural look or whatever, but if you know how to use a brow pencil, you should be fine. For my birthday look, because it was supposed to pop, I use black brow pencil. Yes, I said it. Me say it. And where you gonna fight me? No, you can't fight me. But those bold brows are going to make your face pop. If you're not a professional and you want to stay on the safe side, I suggest that you use brown brow pencil. I'm just going to show you how to use this. Don't come for me, set the pencil a little bit. I'm not gonna come show off on YouTube, but this may I use this small one because it's what I've been using, okay? And I'm going to continue using it until it's done. So now we'll be doing the brows. So what I do is, people said that you're not supposed to draw a line. Girl, me draw a line because me want a guideline. So I draw a line under the brow. You should identify where you want your arch to be. So because I do my eyebrows every day, I just already know where my arch is. And I don't know, it's kind of obvious. I don't know if you guys can tell. So my arch is right there. Right there. So you identify where you want the arch to be, then you do the top. You see that? That's where I showed you my arch was. Then you just go down. I don't know if you guys will be able to tell like currently, but this is actually my good side. The arch kind of looks off right now. It's because I used the eyebrow pencil to show you guys where my arch is. So it's kind of high, but you'll fix that soon. Well, I'll fix it soon. And I'll teach you how to fix it. So what you want to do is make like light strokes at the end of the brows here, filling in like the empty space, and then you stop like midway or almost to the front of your brows. On this other side, I'll be doing the same thing. As you can see, this is why this is my problem brow, because I did have stitches in it. So I don't know if you can see that. You can always go over if you think things need more filling. Like makeup artists normally suggest that you do brow like strokes at the front of the brows. I really don't do that. What I use is a brow brush. This is actually a mini toothbrush, and I crushed, like if my brow pencil breaks, I crush the brow pencil inside the brush. So even if I have no brow pencil, this alone could work as a brow pencil. I don't know if you can see that, like I crushed the brow pencil into that. So what I'll be doing now is brushing the front of my brows right there, going straight into the back and blending it out. So now that they're brushed out, what you want to do is you want to sculpt them, okay? I'm using the LA Girl Pro Concealer. You can use a shade or two lighter than your complexion for the concealer. So because I'm not used to this brush and it hasn't really been used, it doesn't grab the concealer very well, and it doesn't hold it. What I do is that I put it like a little bit below the brow, then I sculpt. So you just want to follow your hair, like the direction of your hair underneath the brow right there. And remember, take it from a brow perfectionist like me. No two brows are the same. They're just sisters, okay? They're not twins. You want to blend the concealer out onto your eyelid. I want to be one of those girlies who does one side of their brows and then go, okay, so I'm gonna do the other side and then I'll be right back. I'm not one of those girlies, because once me do one thing to one side, I have to do it to the other side. So you all just have to wait. Because I feel like if I finish one brow and then I do the other, they're going to look weird. But if I do them at the same time, I can always fix this one to look like this one, or fix this one to look like the other one. So that's why I do my brows the way I do them. I can't just do one brow and then like fix the other one after. I have to do them like at the same time. Like, ooh, this side ate, and I thought it was going to give a problem, because this is kind of awkward, like the way I'm holding. I have to be holding the mirror and doing this side, but it kind of ate, not gonna lie. And I know you're probably wondering, like, why do I blend the concealer down? It is because when you want to put your foundation on, this will serve as a base for that foundation, so that is why you blend it. I move on right now to my Milani foundation. This is actually a new step to my routine. I didn't usually do this, but I did it recently and it came out really nice, so I just added it. You don't have to do this step, you could just use your regular foundation. So what I do is, because I don't need to contour, because as you can see, natural contour lines, what I do is just I use this, and as you can see, it is not my color, but I use it and I add it like to these places so they kind of blend into my neck, because without anything you can see that my face is lighter than my neck, so that's why I do this step. By the way, you can use your foundation brush for this. I just decided to use the sponge that came in the thing. As you can see, there is no difference. It blends really well. Okay, I think that ate. So the next thing I do now is I get my foundation, and this is the LA Girl Pro Coverage foundation in the color Coffee. I don't know if this is my shade, but I use it and it come out good, because when you go downtown to buy your makeup, you cannot test your shade, so you just have to guess and hope say it match your skin. So this is what it looks like. I took the cover off. It's almost done, I think, so I probably have to buy a new one soon. And I still use my concealer brush, so I don't use a lot of foundation. Because I don't have to, especially when you already use the color corrector, and because mine blends into my skin so well, I don't really need to use this like a lot of foundation. And normally the concealer brush that I have, like, it's so broad, and when I'm putting my foundation on, I use the concealer brush to apply it. Don't ask me why. And because it had that like big base, I would just squeeze it on it and then put it on. But look at this small something. If I squeeze on this, like, I don't know if you can see that, look how it's small. So I squeeze it on like so, and then I just apply it to like these areas. And I know you're getting a little skeptical, but don't worry guys, I'm about to fix the skepticism. So now I'm going to do the top of my brows. So what I do is, because I don't need all this foundation, as I said, I take some from here and I do the top of my brows. I don't some people use concealer to do this. I don't use concealer. I prefer using the foundation because it makes your brows like look super natural. It's the same process like when you're doing the bottom. And remember guys, as I said, your brows aren't twins, they are sisters. So now what I do with this, like the remaining foundation and the brush, is that I blend it up, because when I'm using my actual bigger foundation brush, I don't want to blend too much near the brows to mess it up. And this is what we have so far. Now I use my foundation brush, and the first thing I blend is actually here, because normally I don't have to talk, so it wouldn't be sitting on my face for so long. People tend to spray like the liquid primer to get the concealer moving if you had have it on your face too long, but I don't have no time to get up and go for that right now, so with this I spray and I blend that down onto my eyelid. Remember, don't go too close to the brows because you don't want to ruin them, ruin the shape that you gave them actually. Now that you kind of sort of blended underneath, you can blend out your foundation. Remember, don't blend too much into down here because you already use a different foundation for there. To blend under the eyes, you should look up. I don't do that, but just let my eye and blend and pray say it go up underneath there, because no one really has time for that, honestly. So you're blending in this triangular area. Don't bring it down too much above the mouth and the little that you left on your chin. Remember to blend in the corner of your lips. People tend to forget that, and then it just stays there like kind of white. And you still can draw, like you can still pull your brush under your neck. You should brush upwards, and then on your nose. Coverage guys, coverage. So I blend in between the brows right here, and then sometimes I blend upwards. And remember to blend onto your eyelids as well, both sides guys. And then you're probably looking at these brows and going, why them look like a box? Don't worry about that. Now you blend your forehead, and as you can see, there's not a lot of foundation there, and why I did that like that is for it to look more seamless and more natural. So all this foundation was actually just the foundation from the eyebrows. Blend into your edges. If you have a steady hand, you can go as close to the brows as possible. If you don't, you don't need to. So now you guys probably don't see a flaw in my eyebrows. The perfectionist in me does, so I'm going to just fix that right now. You can fix after. There's no judgment, so no judgment zone. So I fixed it. Then what you want to do is to take your foundation brush and just at the beginning of the brows, don't go back here, just right here at the front, you want to just blend in a little bit of the foundation into the front of the brows right there. Not even halfway. Okay, so now guys, we'll be moving on to eyeshadow. So the first thing you do is you take your concealer. This is not a step that is required because you can execute the same look without using the concealer. And also, if your hand isn't steady, I don't recommend that you do this step because you can execute the same look. It's just that when you use the concealer, the eyeshadow is more pigmented. So what you do if you want to do this step, and you can practice this step because it took me a while to get it also, you take just a small amount of concealer. I'm doing this because it's necessary. In the center, which is right here of your eyelid, at the extreme bottom where your lashes are, you put a bead of concealer right there. And you do the same thing for the other eye. And then you look up. Okay, so now I looked up, and as you can see, let me close my eyes. I don't know if you can see that, but at the top of my eyelids right there is concealer, and that is where your cut crease is supposed to go. Say this takes a steady hand and it's basically drawing. So what you want to do is you want to get some concealer on your brush, start from the inner corner and kind of match. Going all the way to that right there. It's like tracing, guys, so that's basically what I just did. And then just like we did before, blending downwards towards this dot that you made to your eyelash. You can add more concealer, not too much, because it will get tacky. And remember, you did kind of put concealer there before. And the top area here should be further away from the eye than the one here. So this one should be like 3/4 of the eye, while you should stop here about where you had placed the concealer earlier, which is like half of the eye. And boom, a perfect cut crease. And you do the same thing to the other eye. And as I said, this is my good side, so I'm not going to talk because this is my problem side. As I said, I don't do contour, but I do highlight. So since we're going to let that stay and be tacky for a bit, because it has to be tacky to apply the makeup, we'll just do highlight right now. So the areas that I'm about to highlight are right here. I don't use a lot of highlight, by the way. Right here, right here. I just draw a line down my nose. And because my forehead is my problem area right now, I don't really need to enlarge my forehead or highlight it, but I do put a little bit of highlight right there. And I clean the brush up right there. So now, foundation brush. I blend everywhere else first and then I blend here last because I want whatever concealer is on the brush to pack into these areas. I'm sorry, this is the perfectionist in me. And it doesn't matter what anyone says, when doing makeup, your fingers are your best friend. especially if you're doing your own face. I'm not saying you should go and put your fingers in other people's faces, but your fingers are your best friends when doing your own makeup. Oh yes, I just highlighted my T-zone. Okay, now for my not so favorite part, we're going to apply the eyeshadow. So for my birthday makeup, I only used one palette. Yes, you heard what I said, one palette. So I used the Beauty Treats Let's Face It palette. This is the brush I use. It is not the correct brush. I repeat, it is not the correct brush, but this is the one I use. I took this brown and I mixed it with this black. So just a little dip in the brown and a little dip in the black. You're going to use this in the outer corner, not where you placed the concealer. And you want to dab that in. Tap it in, guys. I don't see how you barely see that. It's like skin tone. And then I do the same thing for the other side. If one side looks darker, you add the darker shade to the other side. The next thing I do is I use a second size brush. This brush carries two sides. So what I do is I use a very light brown, which is like almost skin tone, which is right there in the upper corner. I take up a bit of that and I brush right here, right under my arch here and above the cut crease, so not where you put the concealer. So I'm going to show you. You can use the same technique without the cut crease, so you just follow the same steps. Dark shades at the end, semi lighter shades above the cut crease there, and then the color of your choice. So on the day I did my makeup, I wore this color. It's actually like a glittery white with like a little pink in there, but you're not seeing it. It just looks plain white right now. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your brush. If you only have a minimal amount of brushes, you can get a napkin or toilet paper or anything, or you can use your skin and you like brush out the excess foundation, brush out the excess makeup that you just use on your skin. I don't normally do that because I don't like it, because then I have to go wash my hand after I just bathe and everything, so I don't do that. And then dip into your color of choice. This is the simplest makeup look to execute and it would look good with any color. So if you're wearing purple, you do purple, whatever. But because I'm executing the same look that I did on my birthday, we're taking this color right here. Take as much on the brush as you can, and what you're going to do is that you're going to pack it, and packing means to press it in to the concealer that you did. If your hands aren't steady, you can use a smaller brush, like for example this brush. I didn't use this brush, has a different color in it, that's why I didn't use it. So you could use a brush like this, smaller, and it will give you more control on where you're putting the makeup, where you're putting the eyeshadow. So same thing you did to one side, do it to the other side. Then you use your big brush or this brush with no makeup on it, so you can brush that out on your skin as I said, and you can just clean over the top, not too hard, just gently brush out any excess that you don't want there. Ta-da! And remember, it is not a crime to go back over. That is the eyeshadow. So I have this e.l.f. blush palette. So this is my universal brush, so I use this to do everything basically. Don't ask why. So as you can see, this is my go-to color, but on that day I kind of mixed. I smile because I already know where my cheeks are. Just to give your face some color. You can also brush lightly over the tip of your nose. And then I use City Color Banana Powder Matte Finish. If you don't have this, you can substitute with the baby powder. Don't quote me on that because I'm not even sure if you're supposed to do that, but I do it sometimes when I'm out of banana powder or any setting powder at all. And the only place I set is like under my eyes here, basically my T-zone. I have one of those triangular things, you know, that triangular thing that went viral on TikTok that you used to press the powder in, but that body should pick up enough and it's hard to brush out, so I just use, as I said, my universal brush. So you're basically just powdering your highlighted zones. Always under here, never forget her. Nose. Right there, because that's my problem area. And where I tend to sweat, which is just right there. Then you can go in with your bronzer. Ooh. Right there, look like it just need a little more powder. Then you can go in with your bronzer. Tell me why the bronzer not on right now. Don't embarrass me. Okay, so this is the Wet n Wild bronzer, universal brush. Just dab up a little, and I just add that above my cheekbones right there. To my nose bridge. I do have a fan brush that you use to apply highlight, but that's kind of dirty right now, so I won't be using it right now. But you can use a fan brush. And I'm sorry, I also applied it to the tip of my nose, a little bit over here to give my forehead a little oomph. And yeah, I'm kind of liking what's going on. The next thing I do is I put mascara on. You should know how to put mascara on. So this is mascara. I did not do any eyeliner because I was wearing lashes, and remember I said I only had like a limited amount of time to get ready. Don't come for me on how I put my mascara on. Do whatever makes you comfortable. So I only put on a little bit of mascara because we're going to be doing falsies, and on that day I used strip lashes, which are these bad boys. These aren't the exact strip lashes I used. I already cleaned that set up and I put them up because I'm going to use them again. So I'm using like some old lashes. So I'm not going to tell you what glue I'm using because it's not that I'm gatekeeping or anything, but I don't think this is for your eyes, but we use it. And if you know, you know. On the day, the eyelash application took forever because we didn't wear nails. No, you know what? I wasn't even wearing nails. I was wearing claws. So the eyelash, let me take long for put on. So right now I'm gluing the lash strips. So I glued the lash strips, and normally I don't do this, but people said that you should let them wait and dry for a bit, get them a little, you know, tacky. So while they quote unquote dry, for my lips I use the same brow pencil, yes, black, and I line my lips. Recommendation is that if you're wearing like eyeshadow or stuff like that, especially if you're wearing like avant-garde, that's like the extravagant eyeshadow, don't wear no colorful lipstick. It's a subtle eye and a bright lip, or a bright eye and a subtle lip. Unless you go carnival and that's the look that you're aiming for, and them do them extravagant, you know, hypey show there where you have to do all of that, there is no need for that. So I'm lining my lips now. I don't overline my lips because my lips are already full, so I don't need to do that. I hold the pencil very lightly. Remember, you're not coloring. So as a non-professional doing my own face, a non-professional professional, people use tweezers to put their lashes on. This girl right here use fingers. So I'm not going to be talking to you right now. I have to focus and concentrate because this is going to take enough out of me. And if it come out, if it go up on my face and it don't look good, me I go vex because it take very long to do that video here. Like we're already about 70 minutes in because I have to be explaining each step. Guys, so one lash is on. I think you're not gonna believe me when I'm telling you how I do them lash here. So I basically just put the lash on my eyelid and then use my finger and squeeze it. That's all I do, to be honest. Very unprofessional, I know, but who cares? It's mine. It's my face. Next thing is, I don't know if I told you this, but the reason why you put the mascara on is because, remember, you just did all that powder. Your eyelashes might be white, so you put the mascara on to kill the color, because you don't want, when you put your eyelash on and you look under the bottom there, I be your white, you see. Why your eyelash white? You old? You have gray hair in there? Exactly. So I'm gonna put this bad boy on and I'll be right back. So it isn't on yet. So as you can see, this is where I just place it on the area. Then what I do after I place, like I put it where I want to be, I use my mascara again and I brush my eyelashes into place like so. So I brush them where they want to be under the eyelash, and then I fixed it. Then once again you go in with your mascara and you comb to make your natural lashes blend in with the lash. And then the base lashes. This is the eye watering process. It's because you are graduating. And if mine didn't come off, but if your eyeshadow got messed up or anything, you just use your small brush, the one that I showed you, which is this bad boy, and you just pack in with the same color that you used before. And now it is time for graduation. And how do you graduate from my makeup academy? Some bomb ass Victoria's Secret lip gloss. Guys, you're done. You look like a bad girl, your face come right out. You're done. So who failed the course? Who failed? Tell me. Because this was an easy slay. And this is where I'm going to close this video because I have work right now. So please remember to like, comment, subscribe, comment this emoji if you made it to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. I hope you can achieve this look. I hope you liked this video, and we'll be back with more videos. Bye.
Dirty girl, when you see me, and what you fit do? Bow down, big chain, and it everything.